Jagajoti, Srinivasan, Nikki, Manohar, Harish. Good evening. Okay. So today we are going to work out some problems from recent JE Advanced. The topic is going to be complex numbers. Okay. So I picked up some questions from the last few years, 2023, 22, 21. So this will give you a sample of what kind of problems are there in the advanced test. Okay, so if you see one problem, you should think and say what other similar problems that can be asked. So the important thing is in the concepts நம்ம இது பண்ணிக்கணும். என்னென்ன மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம் வரப்போகுது, என்னென்ன மாதிரி கான்செப்ட்ஸ் நமக்கு இந்த எக்ஸாமுக்கு ரிலவெண்ட், அதை நம்ம பார்த்துக்கணும். ஓகே, let's get started. Okay. apparently நம்ம எல்லா ப்ராப்ளத்தையும் போட முடியாது, இல்லை இதே ப்ராப்ளம் தான் வரும் அப்படின்னு நம்ம எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. ஓகே, ஜஸ்ட் an idea இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ். ஸோ you have to be thorough with concepts, relevant concepts. Okay, so this is the first question. Okay, let z be a complex number satisfying mod z cube plus 2z square plus 4 conjugate of z minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, and it is given that the imaginary part of z is non-zero. Okay, so it is not a z is not a real number, it is a complex number. Okay, its imaginary part is non-zero. So this is a condition. Okay, the equation is given. So now we have to solve this equation, and some solution options are given. I will write down those options. In this question, match the following certain values. Right, I am going to write it down, but you start solving the problem. Okay, so you have to find out what is the value of z. Okay, try to solve it. Meanwhile, I will write down the match options. Okay. Website என்னென்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? Sorry. Mod is the whole square. Z minus z conjugate mod whole square. Z square plus mod z square plus z conjugate square. Z plus 1 square. So இது நாலு நம்ம கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். ஓகே, என்னென்ன ஆப்ஷன்ஸ்னா 12 கொஞ்ச நேரம் ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. ஓகே, இந்த மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம் எப்படி போடலாம்? இட் இஸ் லைக் a polynomial, okay, in complex numbers. Okay, and they have used terms like modulus, conjugate and all that. Okay, so how can we do this? What is the approach? Can anybody share their ideas? எப்படி இதை நம்ம அப்ரோச் பண்ணலாம்? So one way, normal way is you put z equal to a plus ib or x plus iy, whatever. Okay, and then you write down this equation, and you can try to solve it because this expression is equal to 0, even though you are having two variables now, a and b, right? A plus ib in போடுறீங்கன்னு வெச்சுங்க, ரெண்டு வேரியபிள் வரப்போகுது. But when you equate it to 0, and now the real part is 0 and imaginary part is also 0. When a complex number is 0, the real part is equal to 0 and imaginary part is also equal to 0. அதனால உங்களுக்கு ரெண்டு ஈக்குவேஷன் கிடைக்கும். ரியல் பார்ட்டை 0க்கு ஈக்குவேட் பண்ணலாம். ஸோ ஏபி ரெண்டு வேரியபிள் இருந்தாலும் ரெண்டு ஈக்குவேஷன் உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்க போகுது. நம்ம அதை வச்சு நம்ம சால்வ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, ஸோ ப்ளீஸ் ஒர்க் ஆன் இட். இந்த ஐடியா வச்சுட்டு நீங்கள் கொஞ்சம் போடுங்க பார்ப்போம். Complex number உங்களுக்கு 12th portionல தான் இருக்குது. So people who just completed 11th, they may find it difficult. Okay? So we can just observe. Okay? Other people who are completed 12th, நீங்க இதை போட ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. யாரெல்லாம் 12th, can you please raise your hands? Manohar, Harish. Manohar, Harish. Jaga, Jyoti. And Srinivas, நீங்க ரெண்டு பேரும் 11th. Can I take it that Srinivasan?
Sir, நான் 12th complete பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
நீங்க கேட்கலங்க, கொஞ்சம் சத்தமா சொல்லுங்க.
Sir, நான் 12th complete பண்ணிட்டேன் சார்.
12th complete
completed my 12th sir.
Very good, very good. அப்ப நீங்களும் இத போட முடியலாம். I asked to raise hands, no, you didn't raise hand.
Okay. Yes sir.
Yeah. Jagajyoti?
Sir, 11th sir.
11th முடிச்சிருக்கீங்க. ஓகே, உங்களுக்கு இந்த கிளாஸ் பூராவே கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும். பட் இட் இஸ் குட், நீங்க அப்சர்வ் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கலாம். ஏன்னா எடுத்த உடனே உங்களுக்கு 12th வந்த உடனே இந்த இனிஷியல் மந்த்லயே வந்துடும் இந்த சாப்டர். ஓகே, ஜஸ்ட் அப்சர்வ் பண்ணலாம். விஷால், so புதுசா விஷால் சேர்ந்திருக்காரு. விஷால், you are in 12th or 11th? Completed 11th or 12th? Vishal, are you there? 11th moving to 12th. Okay, okay. இந்த காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் நம்பர் அப்ப உங்களுக்கு வந்திருக்காது. நீங்க சிபிஎஸ்சி இருந்தா ஐ திங்க் வந்திருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். நீங்க ஸ்டேட் போர்டா இருந்தா உங்களுக்கு நீ இதை படிச்சிருக்க மாட்டீங்க. பட் ஸ்டில் யூ கேன் அப்சர்வ் இட். ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் மை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கிளாஸ் ஸ்ரீனிவாசன். யா, ஃபைன், தட்ஸ் ஃபைன். பிகாஸ் ஒன்று செப்பரேட் டாபிக்ஸ் தான் ஒரு கிளாஸ்லையும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஆன் காம்ப்ளெக்ஸ் நம்பர்ஸ். இஃப் யூ know the concept of complex number, what are the different formulas and approaches to solve, நீங்க இது போட முடியும். So யாராவது இது a few steps வந்திருக்கீங்களா, so that you can get try to equate the real part and complex part. CBSE, okay, Vishal, they're very good. CBSE means you will have complex numbers உங்களுக்கு நடத்திருப்பாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் விஷால். So நீங்க I used to skip complex அப்படிலாம் பண்ணக்கூடாது. So இதுல மேக்ஸ்ல என்ன ப்ராப்ளம்னா, if you skip something, no, it will always come back, future chapters will be depend on the previous chapters. So அதனால மேக்ஸ்ல மாத்திரம் நம்ம ஸ்கிப் பண்ணிட்டு அப்படின்னு நம்ம பிளானே பண்ணக்கூடாது.
ஓகே சார். சார் பட் ஆனா அது கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிடும் சார். நடுவில் அப்படியே பண்ணிட்டு இருப்பேன், அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன பண்ணணும்னு தெரியாம ஒரு இடத்துல இப்ப இடிச்சு நின்னா எப்படி இருக்கும் அந்த மாதிரி விட்டுருவேன் சார்.
கொஞ்சம் இதுவா தான் இருக்கும், because real is something you can see. Imaginary is, as the name suggests, it is imaginary, so you cannot usually visualize that. கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா தான் இருக்கும், I agree, but நம்ம சிஸ்டமேட்டிக்கா இதை சால்வ் பண்ண முடியும். ஓகே, இந்த மாதிரி.
ஓகே,
so சரி, நான் போடுறேன். யாராவது ஏதாவது போட்டிருக்கீங்கன்னா, you want to share something, please do that. Otherwise I'll start working on it, so that it will help you all. So what is the formula for mod Z? So let's say Z equal to A plus IB. Okay, so what is the formula for mod Z?
Z into Z bar.
திருப்பி சொல்லுங்க மனோ.
Z into Z bar.
Z into Z. Okay, so that's straight definition for modulus. Okay, is the distance from origin. Modulus அப்படினா definition distance from origin. Okay, so if the polar coordinate like A plus IB, we represent like this. So this is your A is your x-axis and B is your y-axis. So what is the distance of that point from origin? So that is square root of A square plus B square is the modulus. Okay, or you can write it as A square plus B square to the power of half. Okay, so Z மேல ஒரு இது போட்டிருக்கு கோடு, இது மாதிரி இருந்தா this is called Z conjugate. What is the formula for Z conjugate? What is Z conjugate? Anybody? Is Z equal to A plus IB? What is Z conjugate?
A minus IB.
Very good, very good. Okay, it will be A minus IB. So Z conjugate is the mirror image of this number A plus IB. This is your conjugate. Suppose this is Z, this is your Z conjugate. A minus IB. Imaginary part is minus B. Right. Now you just substitute those in the given equation. What is the given equation? Z mod Z cube. Right. So A square plus B square whole to the power of half cube. Yeah. So half to the power of cube and 3/2 plus 2Z square plus 4Z conjugate. So A minus IB minus 8 equal to 0. Okay. So now let us expand these terms. Okay, and equate the real and imaginary parts individually to 0. இப்போ இதை நம்ம ஒன்றும் பண்ண வேணாம், இதை அப்படியே வச்சுப்போம். ஏன்னா இதில் இமேஜினரி பார்ட்டே இல்லை, ஒன்லி ரியல் தான் இருக்குது இல்லையா? ஸோ இதை அப்படியே வச்சுப்போம். 2 இன்டூ இது ஏ ஸ்கொயர். இதோட எக்ஸ்பென்ஷன் சொல்லுங்க பார்ப்போம். ஏ பிளஸ் ஐபி த ஹோல் ஸ்கொயர். மனோ நீங்க சொல்லுங்களேன்.
A square minus B square
ஓகே,
plus AIB
2AB I, right? 2AB I. Okay, very good. அப்போ minus 4A minus IB minus 8 equal to 0. So this is what you get. Now, நான் என்ன சொன்னேன், ரியல் அண்ட் இமேஜினரி பார்ட்ஸை நம்ம செப்பரேட் பண்ணணும் இல்லையா? இப்போ வந்து இமேஜினரி பார்ட்ஸ் வந்து ரொம்ப கம்மியாக இருக்கு. ஸோ அதை நம்ம ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நம்ம ஈஸியாக அதை எடுத்துடலாம் இல்லையா? ஸோ இது வந்து ரியல். ஓகே, ஸோ இது அப்படியே ரியல் இருக்கு. இது வந்து 2 இன்டூ ஏ ஸ்கொயர் மைனஸ் பி ஸ்கொயர் வந்து ரியல். ஓகே, அண்ட் இது 4ABI இது ஒரு இமேஜினரி. ஓகே, அப்புறம் minus 4A minus 4BI minus 8 equal to 0. ஸோ இமேஜினரி பார்த்தோம்னா நம்ம இது ரெண்டே டேர்ம் தான் இருக்குது. Wait, this is plus. Okay, minus 4 into minus IB, so plus 4IB. So what is the imaginary part? 4AB plus 4B is equal to 0. Right? 4AB plus 4B is equal to 0. Right? This 4 நம்ம எடுத்துடலாம், கட் பண்ணிடலாம், because 4 is non-zero, so we can remove. So AB plus B equal to 0. B into A plus 1 equal to 0. So that means either B equal to 0 or A equal to minus 1. Right? So what is given in the problem? The number Z is having a complex component. See, this imaginary part of Z is non-zero. That means B is not zero. That means this condition does not apply. Okay, so B is non-zero. So A plus 1 equal to 0 தான் இருக்கணும். A equal to minus 1. So we will solve for A now. A equal to minus 1. அதே மாதிரி இப்போ நீங்க A சப்ஸ்டிட்யூட் பண்ணிட்டு ரியல் பார்ட்டை மட்டும் எடுத்தீங்கன்னா you will get a single expression in A alone and you can solve for A. அவ்வளவுதான். Okay, so it looks like a complex problem. It is complex problem only, but if you split it and straight away you follow the simple steps, you are able to solve it. So try பண்ணுங்க. Okay, real part மட்டும் எடுத்து please try to solve. I'll write the real part alone. You can substitute A equal to minus 1 in the real part. I'll first write the real part as such. அப்புறமா நான் substitute பண்றேன். A square plus B square இதுதான் real part. Right? Now you put A equal to minus 1, A square equal to 1. So 1 plus B square whole to the power of 3 by 2 plus 2 into 1 minus B square. minus 4 minus 8. 0. Sorry, minus 4 into minus 1. Wait, something is wrong. Okay. That is 1 plus b square whole to the power of 3 by 2 plus 2 b square ಇದು plus 4 minus 8. So இது எல்லாத்தையும் போட்டா என்ன வரும்? 2 plus 6 minus 8 வந்து minus 2 இல்லையா? Hence 2b square minus 2. Simplifies like this. Minus 2 plus b square on that. Okay. Since it is given that b is non-zero, so therefore 1 plus b square is non-zero. And we can divide the entire equation by 1 plus b square. So then what will happen? 1 plus b square to the power of half minus 2 equal to 0. So you get b square equal to 3. Okay. So once you solve for a and b, now whatever options that are given, match those things. So what is the first option? Mod z whole square. Mod z whole square equal to simply a square plus b square. Yeah, because mod z is square root of a square plus b square. So it's simply a square plus b square. So we solve for a and we solve for b square, which is 3. Yeah. So you match the first one to value 4. This match to 2. So this is given as P, Q, R. Yes. So there is solution. You write like P matches to 4. In fact, some options are given, which is correct. So different kind of mapping. So if you solve it, then you have to choose the correct option. So P maps to 2. Second. P maps to 2. Matches with 2. Okay. Next is Z minus Z conjugate whole square. Right. Seems to be something wrong in the. Are you all able to see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because Google Meet for me it is kind of blinking and
No, sir, we can.
is trying to join. Santana Mariraj, have you joined? takes a long time to admit somebody. I don't know why. Okay, so now that you know A and B, நீங்க இந்த இதெல்லாம் நீங்க ஈஸியா மேட்ச் பண்ணிடலாம். So z mod whole square 4 அப்படின்னு போட்டோம். அதே மாதிரி z minus z conjugate the whole square அது இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் பா. அதை நீங்க ஈஸியா hopefully you can do it. Please keep trying, keep working on this. So please try those things. Okay? Z minus z conjugate mod whole square. Please try it out. These are simpler parts. Once you solve for A and B. P maps to option 2. So who has solved this? That is very easy. Z minus Z conjugate the whole square. Who has done this? Raise your hands. No, it's not actually very hard. Hard and nice. See, A plus IB minus A minus IB. Okay. So what is A plus IB minus A minus IB? A and A gets cancelled out. So it is simply 2IB. So 2IB or a mod obviously square root of real part is 0. Imaginary part is 2B. Clear? So real part square plus imaginary part square. All of that. Which is equal to simply 2B in order. Okay. So we solved that B is root 3. Yeah, so therefore this is 2 root 3. Okay. So let us see which option is that. So Z minus Z bar whole square not square, right? That means it is simply 2B the whole square. So that means what did we get for B? B is root 3. Yeah. Okay, 4 into B square. Yeah, 2B the whole square. Square equal to 2B the whole square. Okay. So that means this is Q. That Q maps to 12 is in which option? 1, right? So Q maps to 1. What is the third one? PQR. Mod Z square okay, so can you work on this? So mod Z square just now we solved it, right? First part, so that we already solved it as 2. And what is Z? Mod Z plus conjugate Z whole square. Z plus ZA is A plus IB plus A minus IB, that is 2A, right? 2A at a mod is 2A now, okay? So 2A the whole square. Sorry, 4. Six. Okay. Z square is 4, sorry. So that mod square we got as 4, right? First option. So R maps to 8 in the option 3. So what is Z? Z plus 1 the whole square. Z plus 1 mod square. So Z plus 1 will be A plus 1 plus IB. Okay. So A is 1. So this is 2, A plus 1. 1 plus 1 plus B is root 3. Yeah. So Z plus 1 square abdina. So this is the real part. 2 square plus the root 3 square. Root 3 square is simply 3. So that means 4 plus 3. 7. Okay. So this matches to your option number 5. Option number 5. So this is what you choose. Okay. So is this clear? Clear or not clear? Okay. Let's go to the next problem. Is it a similar problem, no? Let Z be a complex number with non-zero imaginary part. If two plus 2, this is 3Z Okay. So find z square. So options like you have to calculate it and fill that number. So this is the given condition. 2 plus 3z plus 4z square divided by 2 minus 3z plus 4z square is a real number. Okay. So then what is the value of mod z square? Please try for it's a big fraction mari இருக்குது இது either instead of putting a plus ib and so the normal way we solve this kind of a division of complex number is multiply by the denominator by its conjugate, but இதுல ரொம்ப நம்பரே காம்ப்ளிகேட்டடா இருக்கு, அதனால இத கொஞ்சம் நம்ம simplify பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணணும். Okay, so think about how we can make the problem simpler. In the fraction எப்படி நம்ம simpler பண்ணலாம். Because you are not getting any idea, I will tell you this because real example you can use these ideas. Okay, so the numerator you can write it as 2 minus 3z plus 4z square plus 6z, right? So 3z I am writing as minus 3z plus 6z. நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன், அப்படியே denominator match பண்ணிருக்கேன். This whole thing has now matched with the denominator. இப்போ என்ன ஆயிடுது பாருங்க, so this whole thing becomes 1. So one level of simplification. இப்போ என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க, if this is a real number, this 1 plus something is a real number, then this must also be a real number, right? So this has got no complex part. The whole thing had a complex part. Adding 1 or subtracting 1 will not remove the complex part, right? So since this 1 plus this is real number, that means this itself is a real number. So we have simplified it like that. So what more we can simplify? Numerator is z irukku, denominator is z irukku. So now what we can do, divide by denominator z, both numerator and denominator. We can ignore this 1 now, okay? Only consider this 6z by this fraction. So divide by z. So 6 2 by z minus 3 plus 4z. So it comes like that. Right. We write like that. Okay, 6 divided by minus 3 plus 4z by 2 by z. With the same logic, if this has to be real, then this has to be real. Right? If this has got a complex component, then the whole number will have a complex component. The whole number has to be real means this has to be real. It cannot have a complex component. 4z. So we can divide it by 2. Two is z by 1 plus z is real. Okay. So in the bigger problem we are now simplified. Okay. Now we can use the same approach that we had used, right? 2 into, there are two ways in we can use, go from now onwards. So one is our standard approach, 2 into a plus ib plus 1 by a plus ib. இது வந்து நம்ம a minus ib, numerator denominator ரெண்டுத்தையும் நம்ம a minus ib ஆல மல்டிப்ளை பண்றோம். இப்போ the real means the imaginary part is 0. So that means so what are the imaginary parts here? 2b. Here it is minus b divided by a square minus b square. So this is the imaginary part, 2b minus ib by a square minus b square. So this should be equal to 0. Because if that has to be real, that imaginary part of that complex number should be 0. Okay. It is also given that b is non-zero. So now we can divide it by 0. Divided by b. Right? 2 minus. Right? Sorry, this is a square plus b square, okay? A plus ib into a minus ib, right? A plus ib into a minus ib is equal to a square minus I square b square. Since I square is minus 1, this becomes a square plus b square. So 1 by a square plus b square equal to 2. That means a square plus b square equal to 1 by 2. And what are they asking you? They are asking you to find out mod z square, which is same as a square plus b square. So they are asking for the value of a square plus b square only, because mod z square is a square plus b square. We have already solved for a square plus b square, which is coming to half. So this is your answer. So you fill that half there. So this is the one way, right? So the standard way that you can think of, you simplify the given fraction and then use this a plus ib approach. In this case, we can use another approach also. Adu epdina 2z plus 1 by z equal to is real, right? If 2z plus 1 by z is real, if a number is real means that number z equal to z conjugate. Okay, suppose that this is w. So w equal to w conjugate. Appada that number will be real. Okay, if because you can see, right? So if the number is having no imaginary part, so that value will be equal to its conjugate, because conjugate will just reversing the imaginary part only. So if the imaginary part is 0, then the number will be equal to its conjugate. அப்ப நம்ம என்ன பண்ணலாம், 2z plus 1 by z equal to 2z plus 1 by z conjugate. But conjugate property என்னன்னாக்க, conjugate of the whole thing is, நீங்க இதெல்லாம் ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும், conjugate properties, the modulus, argument, so all these things you should remember. 2z mod இப்ப பாத்தீங்கன்னா 2 into z minus z mod equal to 1 by so this is how you get z minus z mod z conjugate equal divided by z conjugate. If the z minus z conjugate is non-zero, okay, so we can cancel it out. So 2 into z conjugate equal to 1, and we know that z into z conjugate is same as a mod square. So mod square is equal to 1 by 2. How this is coming? Z minus z mod equal to, நம்ம இப்பதான் பார்த்தோம், a minus ib, a plus ib into a minus ib, which is equal to a square minus I square b square, which is same as a square plus b square, which is same as mod z square. Okay, so that is what I have substituted. So we can use the property of this conjugate here. So this is also another approach, okay, but you can use either approach. Okay, so result is the same. So z square, z mod square becomes half. Okay, so did you all follow? Okay. Let's do one more problem. Given this equation, okay, z conjugate minus z square equal to I into z conjugate plus z square. So this is the condition given for the complex number z. Okay, the complex number z satisfies this condition. Z mod minus z square equal to I into, sorry, z conjugate minus z square equal to I into z conjugate plus z square. Then how many roots, distinct roots are there? How many possible values there are there for z? So you don't even have to find out those values. All you have to find out is how many roots. If you solve this, how many roots are there? Distinct roots in கேட்டிருக்காங்க. So I'll tell you. How many distinct roots are there for this equation? That is the question. Okay. So here also you should find out and write the answer. அந்த மாதிரி type of question இது. Okay, Srinivasan and Harish ரெண்டு பேர் தான் இருக்கீங்க நீங்க. கொஞ்சம் ட்ரை பண்ணி பாருங்க இந்த question. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please try. Same approach you can use, like what we do a plus ib. Take z equal to a plus ib, write it down, okay, and apply this condition and map the real part to the real part. The left hand side real part is equal to the right hand side real part. Imaginary part also you can map. So you get two equations, you can solve for a and b. Okay. Are you able to progress, Srinivasan and Harish? Want to try பண்ண முடியுதா?
முடியல sir.
You can't. Okay. What about you, Harish? Same approach now. Okay, put z equal to a plus ib. Okay. Okay, Harish, I saw your message. Okay. So, systematic நம்ம போட்டு வந்து automatically you will get that z conjugate equal to a minus ib இல்லையா? ஸோ இதில் வேற என்ன இருக்கு, அவ்வளோதான் இருக்குது. ஸோ a அப்படியே சப்ஸ்டியூட் பண்ணுவோம். a minus ib minus a plus ib whole square equal to I into a minus ib plus I into z square. Okay, so I am splitting the right hand side into two. I into z conjugate plus I into z square for simplicity. Okay. Let us write down the real and imaginary parts and match those separately. அவ்வளவுதான் நம்ம பண்ண போறோம். I into minus IB வந்து minus I square B. But minus I square is minus of minus 1, which is plus 1. அதனால plus 1B அப்படின்னு ஆகிடும். இப்போ வந்து ரியல் இமேஜினரி அப்படியே நம்ம செப்பரேட்டா எழுதுவோம். a minus a square plus b square. அதான் இந்த பக்கம் லெஃப்ட் ஹேண்ட் சைடு ரியல். இமேஜினரி minus ib minus 2ab I. ஓகே, இங்க எது ரியல் பார்ட்? b ஒன்று தான் ரியல் பார்ட். இது இங்க வந்து I into 2abi அது ரியல் பார்ட் ஆயிடும். ஏன்னா 2ab into I square which is 2ab into minus 1, so minus 2ab. அப்புறம் இமேஜினரி பார்ட் என்னென்ன இருக்கு? I into எடுத்துட்டோம்னா a plus a square minus b square. இது வந்து minus I into b plus 2ab. I into b plus 2ab. So if you equate the real and imaginary parts separately, you are going to get two equations. முதல்ல we will equate the real parts. A minus a square plus b square equal to b minus 2ab. So what is the other equation? Imaginary part, right? B plus 2ab. இங்க பக்கம் எழுதுவோம் b plus 2ab. b plus equal to minus of, right? Minus of b plus 2ab is equal to the basic. Now you simply add the two. You see that there is a lot of similarity between the two equations. Let us say this is your equation 1, this is equation. So simply you get 2a in the because a square, sorry, b and minus b will get cancelled, and what you will get is simply minus 4ab. It is simply adding 1 and 2. Okay. The 2 we can simplify. Okay. So a equal to minus 2ab no. A plus 2ab equal to 0. A into 1 plus 2b equal to 0. That means either a equal to 0 or 1 plus 2b equal to 0. That is 2b equal to minus 1 or b equal to minus half. So either a equal to 0 or b equal to minus half. Have they given that a is not equal to 0? என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? அது மாதிரிலாம் எதுவுமே கொடுக்கல இதுல. இல்லையா? அதனால so we will have to assume both possibilities. So a can be 0 or b can be minus half. Now let us look at the second equation. There are two equations given, right? ரெண்டு possibility இருக்கிறதுனால we have to consider both the possibilities. So a equal to 0. Then a equal to 0, substitute a equal to 0 in the first equation. B square equal to b with minus 2ab is again 0, right? That means b square minus b equal to 0. B equal to 0, b equal to 1. There are two possibilities. That means when a equal to 0, b can be 0, b can be 1. That means a equal to 0, b equal to 1. It can be equal to 0 or possibility. This is another possibility. So we already got two roots now. A equal to 0, b equal to 0, a equal to 0, b equal to 1. So then b equal to minus half के एवढे solutions इருக்கு அது important. No adina. a minus a square plus b square b minus 2ab. Means a minus a square plus b square equal to minus half whole square, 1 by 4 equal to b minus half. So minus a into minus 1. So it is plus a. So this plus a gets cancelled out. So what do you get? A square minus a square plus 1 by 4 equal to minus half. So a square equal to 3 by 4. Okay, that means a equal to plus or minus, okay, root 3 by 4. Now, plus or minus root 3 by 2. So here again you're getting A in a complex number. When we take A plus IB, as a complex number, A and B should be real. Okay, so if A itself comes to imaginary, then that is not valid. Another put partner, we are getting real values. 4 combinations of real values varnala, 4 solutions are possible. Okay. So இதே மாதிரி ப்ராப்ளம் தான் இருக்க போகுது உங்களுக்கு. So this is just a sample, a few problems நான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். ஸோ உங்கள் புக்லேயே இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் இருக்கும். பட் இதுலேயே நீங்கள் வேரியேஷன்ஸ் நீங்களே திங்க் பண்ணி இது மாதிரி ப்ராக்டிஸ் பண்ணிக்கணும். ஓகேவா? ஸோ இஃப் யூ ஹேவ் டைம், யூ கேன் பி தேர் ஃபார் சம் மோர் டைம். ஐ கேன் டூ ஒன் மோர் ப்ராப்ளம். Are you okay to do one more problem or shall we close now? One more problem. Yes na kai thukunga. Okay. Parish raised hand. Okay. What about Srinivasan? You can do one more problem.
Sir, I understood, sir.
Okay, so let's do one more problem. It's a conceptual problem. Konja easy da ide.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Let theta 1, theta 2 up to theta 10 be positive valued angles. So that they all add up to 2 pi. Okay. Define the complex numbers let's say this is Z1. Z1 equal to e power I theta 1. Z2 equal to e power I theta 2. E power I theta 10. Now, what are the values of these two expressions P? The statement is given like this: less than or equal to 2 pi. Okay, true or false? That's the question. Okay. இன்னொரு ஸ்டேட்மெண்ட் கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் at the end 1 is true, 2 is true, both are true அப்படிலாம் கொடுத்துருப்பாங்க. So without going into that, I am just saying this statement you verify whether this is true or false. That is your first problem. Second statement is like this. Okay. So is this true or false? Okay. So these are the two statements given. Okay. Okay. So here you can see that the numbers are given in Euler form. Okay. Z1 equal to e power I into theta 1. இதே வந்து நம்ம இந்த சிஸ் ஃபார்ம்ல எழுதலாம். ஓகே, போலார் ஃபார்ம். So if you write in polar form, what these numbers mean is Z1 equal to e power I theta 1 அப்படின்னா it is same as R is 1 here because the க்கு முன்னால ஏதாவது நம்பர் இருந்துச்சுன்னா that will be your modulus. Okay, so here modulus is 1 because there is no number here, it is 1. Okay, so R into cis theta னு வரும் இல்லையா, இங்க R is 1, அதனால இப்போ cis theta 1. So Z1 is cis theta 1. That means cos theta 1 plus I sin theta 1. Similarly, Z2 is cis theta 2 and so on. We can easily represent it in a diagrammatic form. Okay. என்ன கொடுத்திருக்காங்க? This is your theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, etc. up to theta 10. They're all adding up to 2 pi. Yeah. So all the numbers have modulus of 1. That means it is like a circle. All these numbers are lying in a circle. Sometimes, you know, if you plot it, then it becomes very easy. Now, what are they asking? Z1, Z2 minus Z1. Okay, so this is your Z1, this is your Z2. Okay, so Z2 minus Z1 is simply this line. Okay. Similarly, then this line. That is where Z3 minus Z2 and so on. Okay, so the sum of all that, okay, means the sum of this shape, you know, a 10-faced shape. Okay, polygon, a 10-faced polygon, adoda circumference na kekran. So they are asking whether it will be less than 2 pi or not. So if you can understand this, when you just plot it, you can easily answer this. So ninga paathitu, can somebody tell whether this Z1 plus, you know, this Z2 minus Z1 plus, you know, mod plus Z3 minus Z2 and so on, will it be less than 2 pi or not? What is the circumference of the circle? What is the circumference of the circle? 2 pi r. What is r here? What is r? 1. So, upper circumference of the circle is just 2 pi. Yeah. So, the sum of all the sides of this 10-faced polygon, will it be less than or greater than the circumference of the circle? If you take any 2 points, the straight line is the shortest. Okay, so it has to be smaller than the arc. Okay, so sum of all the arcs put together comes to 2 pi. Therefore, the sum of all the straight lines have to be less than or greater than 2 pi. Less than 2 pi. Right. So that is the option. Try to do the second part. Square, z2 square minus z1 square, z3 square minus z2 square, and so on. Sum it up. What will that come to? Okay, so I'll give an. Are you able to think of some ways, Harish or Srinivasan? Okay, konja kashtam da. So I will write it down. Is that okay? Z2 plus 1 into Z2 minus Z1. I've been put it. So what is this? Now let's see what is this. Mod of AB equal to mod of A into mod of B. Now, what can we say about this mod of Z2 plus Z1? There's a triangular property that says that mod of Z2 plus mod of Z1 is less than or equal to. Since we know that each one is 1, okay? So that means mod of Z2 plus Z1 will be less than or equal to 1 plus 1, which is 2. Because Z2 plus Z1 updating are there. So this is Z1, Z2 will be something like this. So Z1 plus Z2 will, it's like a parallelogram, diagonal of the parallelogram. So this is what we call as triangular law also. So this plus this will be greater than the diagonal. And unless sum of the, modulo of the sum will be less than or equal to individual modulus or sums. So that means this is 2. Clear? So this is less than or equal to 2. Therefore, modulus of Z2 square minus Z1 square will be less than or equal to 2 times modulus of Z2 minus Z1. So this is the concept that கொஞ்சம் think பண்ணீங்கன்னா it needs some thinking. But once you put this down, we already solved for Z2 minus Z1 mod. In the whole sum, sigma of this so we already solved that this is less than 2 pi. So that will be less than or equal to 4 pi. So that is what is given. So it is less than or equal to 4 pi. This question was there in one of the advanced JE papers. It requires some thinking, but it is very easy once you visualize this in a picture. You can easily solve this. So in the matter, some problems will require some out of the box thinking differently. Like you draw it and then visualize it, you can easily solve it. Okay. So in this case, statement P, Q both are true.